Welcome to a discussion regarding the criminal charge of possession of marijuana in the state of Louisiana. Now, it is unlawful for anyone to knowingly or intentionally possess marijuana. So what exactly does marijuana mean according to the actual statute in Louisiana? Well, marijuana means all parts of the plant genus cannabis, whether growing or not, the seeds throughout, the resin extracted from any part of such plant, and every compound, manufacture, salt, derivative, mixture, or preparation of such plant, its seeds or resin, but shall not include the mature stalks, oil, or cake made from the seeds of such plant. Now, the penalties for possession of marijuana vary. They can be determined based on the number of prior convictions for possession of marijuana. For instance, if a defendant has no prior convictions for possession of marijuana, he's looking at possession of marijuana first offense, and that's actually a misdemeanor. It is punishable by a fine of up to $500 and or a term of imprisonment in the parish jail for 0 to 6 months. Now, possession of marijuana second offense, on the other hand, is a felony. It's punishable by a fine of up to $2,000 and or a term of imprisonment of 0 to 5 years. Possession of marijuana third offense is a felony, which is punishable by a fine of up to $5,000 and or a term of imprisonment of up to 20 years. Now, the penalties for possession of marijuana can vary based on the weight of the alleged marijuana. For instance, if the defendant is alleged to have possessed in between 60 and less than 2,000 pounds of marijuana, well, he's looking at a potential fine of $50,000 to $100,000 and 5 to 30 years in prison. If he's alleged to possess in between 2,000 pounds of marijuana and less than 10,000 pounds of marijuana, well, then he could be looking at a fine of in between $100,000 and $400,000 and or a term of imprisonment of in between 10 and 40 years in prison. And if he's alleged to possess over 10,000 pounds of marijuana, well, he's looking at a potential fine of in between $400,000 and $1 million and a term of imprisonment of in between 25 and 40 years. Other charges that are related to possession of marijuana include possession with intent to distribute marijuana and distribution of marijuana. So what does it mean to distribute in Louisiana? Distribute means to deliver drugs, whether by physical delivery, administering, subterfuge, furnishing a prescription, or by filling, packaging, labeling, or compounding the substance pursuant to the lawful order of a practitioner. Now, the penalties for possession with intent to distribute and distribution are the same. They are 5 to 30 years in prison. Now, everything I've talked about today is not intended to be formal legal advice, simply because the law changes all the time. If you or somebody you know has one of these charges, I recommend that you contact an attorney or contact me.